the date is the 31st of July 2024. This is an informal investigation myself, Danielle Fletcher and Jason Carringtons regarding events that took place on the 11th of July 2024 involving Indra Apine. So Jason, I'll just give you a bit of info as to what's been said and what's going on. So we received a grievance letter from Indra. They referred to events that took place on the 11th of July 2024, whereby she states that you came onto shift. She left machine 102A and went to pack on 102B because she was due to do overtime 2 in the afternoon till 6:30 in the evening on 102B. She then claims that you confronted her over at 102B and you were shouting at her and being quite aggressive towards her to go back onto the 102A machine. So what I'll do first is, just for the purpose of the tape, I'll just show you the events that took place on that day. So if you just look at the top, it's got 11th of the 7th, 2024, 13:57. So I'll just play it. There'll be a bit of dead air just for the tape. So you've just come on shift there, if you can see.
So that'll be where she's telling me she's going off.
Where you two are both stood on 102?
Yeah.
So Indra at that point, you say, was telling you she was going over to 102B?
Yeah, because there she's walked off.
She's walked over to 102B.
And I've just told Andy that she's just walked off the machine because of where I'm talking to him. Yeah, I'm telling her she needs to go back on the machine, pointing to it there, and she's just ignored me and walked down. So I've come down to say, you need to go back on, there's no one. There, saying, as you can see, pointing, you need to go back on machine because there's no one here watching it. Look at her reactions. Oh, there we are.
So at that point there, would you say your body language was quite aggressive?
No,
in the way that
none whatsoever. If you look,
retracts from you.
That could have been just attitude, you know what I mean? What I'm doing, whatever, not retracting as I'm saying. Because at that point, all I was saying is you need to go back on the machine. There's no one watching it. You can't just walk off. I've just walked in, and the machine's running, and there's no one on the end now.
Okay.
So, which is why we're pointing. As you can see, I said you need to go back on end of the machine. There's no one there. So she obviously, there weren't no. I don't know what she's accused, but basically I was saying, you can't just leave...
And she said you were shouting at her and you were being aggressive towards her.
Why would I want to do that? I've literally just said, you need to go back on the end of the machine, you can't just walk off. There's no one in, which is, I'm well within my right. That machine now has got nobody on it. Do you know what I mean? No one on the end. I just told Andy that she's just told me, as you saw when I spoke to him, that she's coming off and going on here. And I came to the end, as you saw, and said, you need to go back on the machine, there's no one on it. I also said to her something along the lines, if you're not happy, you need to go see Steve and tell Steve.
Pastor, the supervisor?
Yes, the supervisor.
So, did you raise your voice at any point?
No. Well, if you look at how I was, that's how I act normally. I just said, you need to go back on the end of the machine. I didn't raise my voice. I did say, you have to go back, you need to go back, or you need to go back, because there's no one on the machine.
Okay, but we have the witnesses to the event have said they heard you shouting at Indra, and Indra herself said you were shouting at her. So the body language is obviously moving your arms and flailing quite a bit.
No, not flailing. I'm pointing and saying you need to go back on the machine. There's no one on the machine.
Okay, so did you raise your voice in any way?
No, I said you need to go back on the machine.
Yeah. And then she's walked off now.
No, she doesn't. She goes to the middle.
Towards Andy.
Yeah, she says, I'm going home.
She said that to you?
Yeah, she says, I'm going home. Then she's gone. She's obviously said something to Andy. and I don't know what Andy said, but she then came back down and Andy went on machine. So I'll have said there, again pointing to the end of the machine, there's no one on, you need to wait until someone come on. And I said to her, Andy will sort the rotor out on her machine. Because Andy's running that machine, I'm running that one, and she's just walked off.
So what did Indra say to you when you came in and she said that she needed to go pack on B now?
No, she didn't say anything, she just says, I'm going over there to let Dorota go home. And I said, no, you can't go home, you need to stay here until the packer comes in. I clearly told her, you can't leave the machine, you know what I mean? I didn't say, please don't, or I said, you can't leave the machine until someone comes in.
Did she ask you to pack her or anything?
No, she didn't do it. She didn't ask if I could leave the machine or anything like that. She didn't. What her comment was, I'm letting Dorota go home, I'm coming on this machine.
Right,
so
okay.
she didn't ask me, she dictated to me and told me what she was doing.
So you feel she should have asked you if she could
what
go
do you
to
think? Should she have asked me, or
102B?
should she have told me I'm leaving that machine?
It's a bit of a tricky situation because obviously the packer that is coming on shift at 2 o'clock was coming from upstairs, so she had to do her handover before she could. But then Indra obviously had to do her handover with Dorota as well.
Whose responsibility is it to sort Dorota out? Is it mine, is it Indra's, or is it Andy who's running that machine and Dorota's packing for? Do you know what I mean? If I had a packer on my machine and she needed to go, then was going home, I'd say, oh, you go home, I'll come on there and pack him. But I just walked in, I've done no changeover, shift change with a setter. You literally saw me walk in. As I got to the end, she told me, I'm going on that machine because the rotor's going on.
Okay.
I said, you can't.
So is it right to assume that you was annoyed at?
No, I wasn't annoyed, but I was making the statement, you cannot and should not leave that machine. There's no packers coming. I didn't say I haven't done a shift change over that, but basically there's no one to watch the end of that machine.
Yeah.
And my exact words were, Andy will sort the rotor out. But she just ignored me.
What did Andy say?
Well, I didn't.
When you and Indra having a conversation with Andy, just by Centre 102B, what was Andy's response?
I'll be honest. I can't remember.
Because Andy ends up packing on.
Well, that were it. I was surprised because I turned round and Andy were on the end because he knew she'd walked off. So Andy's actually running this machine. He went off and starts packing.
Because he was due to leave at 2 o'clock as well.
Exactly. So why would the setter running this machine leave his machine and pack on my machine, right? And stand there with Dorota to let her off? It's all backwards. Basically, the issue is I didn't shout it. I said you can't leave that machine. She basically blatantly ignored me and walked off. And went on the machine. Andy obviously knows there's no one, and when I saw Andy packing, I went over and says, "No, I'll come on, Andy. You just go." You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, Indra also believes that when she raises quality issues with yourself, things that she's not happy boxing and she wants rectifying, that you aren't willing to make them corrections or sign them off.
I'm not willing to be instructed by her. I am willing to take on board her opinion, but it doesn't mean she has the right to direct me how to run the machine. She can raise something.
Is there a reason why you won't sign it for her then?
I answered, no, why not sign it?
Well, she said she gets that she can raise a quality issue. Or that is the Packers' remit. They have to do 15-minute quality checks, the gluing, the inks, everything, raise any concerns. So obviously you as the setter of that machine producing that product, it's your remit to say, oh, I'll rectify that, that's not passable. That is passable, I'll sign it off. But
well, no, you don't go signing everything. If there's an issue that they think is wrong or something, then they'll bring it up with the setter. So the setter will make the decision, right, commercially it's acceptable. Because they'll come up with everything. Some of them will constantly, every 10-15 minutes, coming up with this, that, and you go, no, it's right. Or they'll keep coming with the same issue. And you'll go, no, it's fine, just pack it. It's alright. If she says sign it, if she thinks there's something that needs signing, then why would I not? And if not, should she not just speak to Steve? Do you know what I mean? If there's an issue, one, why would I not want to sign it? And if there is an issue that she thinks, well, it ain't really right, then she can just go to Steve, and Steve will say to me, and he'll say, Jason, whatever, do you think that's right? I never constantly go. I think she's just picking and attacking for some reason, because she don't like the fact that she's been told she can't leave the machine. She's done it before when I've asked her. She goes round here talking to Packer on here. They're coming all that. I says
102C, just for the benefit of the team.
I'll say, Ingrid, you can't leave the machine. And she'll get in a strop and start ignoring you. You know what I mean? It's like that now. She just cut you off. So that's on which I mentioned to you before. I said on the Tuesday morning when I come in, I says to Indra, I says, listen, we've all got to work together. There's no point in having this attitude, you know what I mean? I said,
this is after this event.
This is the following. Because what happened is I came on Tuesday morning, went on the machine, said, morning Indra. She just totally blanked me, turned round.
This is after she raised the grievance.
I don't know, because I don't know when she raised the grievance.
Yeah, she raised the grievance on the Friday. After it took place on the
Thursday, was it?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
you're talking about the Tuesday.
So I'm talking about.
Well, let's have a look at what day that would be. So that'd be Tuesday the 16th.
So that will be.
She on nights lunch.
I thought she was on my machine. I didn't realise she'd been on nights.
Okay.
So I said, morning, just walking past, similar to what I'd done there. Morning, like I do to all of them. She just blanked me, turned round, which is what she generally does if she doesn't like what you say. She did that. I went up to her and I says, Indra, we can't be having these attitudes. You know what I mean? We've all got to work together. I says, and be civil and be rational. You know what I mean? I says, you can't go. So I brought up the fact, because I knew she'd left the machine. I said, you can't leave the machine. At that point, I didn't know she'd brought a grievance up.
Yeah, okay.
So I said to her, I says, because Dorota was doing the same thing, blanking. I don't know if it was the next day I'd said morning to Dorota. She would just stony face, walk past me.
So Dorota will witness to the events on the 11th of July. But she wasn't involved. I can't see that she was involved.
Well, there were no one really, because there wasn't no issue. It was purely a case of, Indra, you can't leave, like you saw, Indra, you can't leave the machine, you need to go back on, there's no one on. And I was pointing to the thing, gesticulating, you see clearly, one, being aggressive and, you know what I mean? So on the Tuesday morning, I came in, said, morning Indra, she blanked, and then I said, we can't be having these attitudes. We've all got to work together and be civil and be rational. I said, you can't leave the machine. I says, I'll say when you can leave the machine when another packer comes in, or I'll come on. I says, and if you and Dorota are going to continue having this attitude, blanking and ignoring, then I'm going to have to bring it up with the management. You know what I mean?
You said that to her.
And I said them virtually exact same words, and I told her, if you don't stop acting in this way, because Dorota was acting the same when I passed her. I can't remember what day it was, but it was after the event. I says, I'm going to have to bring it up with the management. I says, because we've all got to work together. Again, she just blanked. And I can't say she walked up, because I don't know. I think I walked away. Excuse me, more than likely to my toolbox, and then probably the next packer came in. And that's literally the whole event that went on.
And you have had no contact or words with?
I've not spoken with her. In fact, I said bye to her yesterday. Again, she just ignored. Blanked. But that's the whole situation. I did tell her, because I firmly believe you cannot leave these machines. If there's no one there, it's just all just going to jam up. Do you know what I mean? When all the envelopes are coming off at, what, 650 a minute that it's running at. She wasn't happy at that. As she normally says, stop shouting, stop. I told her before when coming off, I said, you can't leave the machine. Don't you shout at me. I says, I'm not shouting. I'm saying you've got, and I said that the other day, because she actually started saying, don't shout at me. I said, I'm not shouting, Indra. You've got to go back on the machine. And that's the whole event. And to me, because there was nothing personal or directed or being intimidated, it was just, that's the case. It happened, and then we all just carry on. But it obviously didn't, because she's then now throwing all kinds of accusations of not signing stuff. If that's the case, why has she not brought that up before? Or even told Steve? Or the work that I produce, why has it not come back? If you know what I mean.
With regards to the signing off, apparently that has been brought up with the supervisors before, which they've said they've then asked you, and you have made the adjustments to correct any issues.
Well, it depends. It depends what it is, because the machines are constantly needing monitoring. They don't run by themselves, so anything that comes up, we will just sort the issue out. But if it's something that they're saying because they want, oh, this side's a little bit bigger, and fair enough, but it doesn't matter. It might be a mil bigger or whatever, but if something else is going on, or I'm in the middle of something else, I'm not going to throw everything all up in the air and go run it then at their whim. If they highlight something, I then become aware of it, and then that's it. As long as the machine is producing what's acceptable, if she doesn't like the fact that I haven't run to her and done, yes, I'll do it now, Indra, is of no consequence. All her job is, and is required of her, is if she believes there's something that needs attention, she highlights that to me, and I make the decision whether we run it as we do the whole machine, or whether I make an adjustment. I won't go
What I would say is if she, obviously her name goes on that product as well, because it's her job to check the quality every 15 minutes. If it's something that is passable and saleable and isn't going to be, come back on us in any detrimental way, just for peace of mind, for the Packers' point, to put a signature on it so that they know that, because it has happened before where we've had product declined, and with obviously the Packers' initials are on them boxes, and they have received warnings for such things, because they do take on the responsibility of the quality.
I understand, but that must be far and few.
It doesn't happen often,
because we don't get stuff back. We produce 9 million a week. How much comes back?
It's a small percentage, but when it does come back and you do that investigation, and it turns out that it's got, say for example, Indra's name on it, and she becomes part of that investigation.
It's easy.
But how does she say that? Well, I did flag that and it got.
But it's easy for them to start saying that, isn't it? Because anyone can go, well, I told them and they said run it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
if it's got your signature on it, it kind of
has. If it has, but that's if there's an issue. But like for them, the backstop for them is if I don't do something they want, because I'm going to make a decision as the setter and responsible for what comes off the end, as what all the setters are.
Yeah.
Then, if she thinks that there is going to be something that she is concerned of, bearing in mind certain ones constantly keep bringing issues up that are of no consequence all through the day, then she can go to Steve or whoever. But if the supervisor's saying, and there might only be one incident, and I can't even that might have happened out of every day of the year, 9 million envelopes a week, she's in no position to come back to me and say, you don't sign my work. Does that mean everything I'm producing is substandard because I'm not signing? How often do I work with her? She works on the other shift. Do you know what I mean? So why is she saying I'm not signing when I don't even work with her?
So would you generally work with Indra on overtime? Is that
well, if she's on that machine, but if she's on the machine that I'm working on and she's doing overtime, I'll work with her. But again, that'll be, when's that? She works on the other machine, and if a situation is brought up, as I say, she can go to Steve. There is no. It's not wrong for me to say that's fine, just keep running it, because that's what we do all the time. Jason, is this all right? Is this print all right? Yeah, that's fine, just run it. Is this glue all right? Yeah. Is your knuckle? Yeah, it's fine, just run it. I don't go signing every single envelope every 30 seconds to say. If there's something like, oh, there's no print on this envelope, and I'll go, yeah, that's fine, then I'm not going to go, that's fine. But if she thinks there's no print on it, really, there's meant to be print on it, and she can say, Steve, are you alright with this? How often has she gone to Steve and said, Jason won't sign this? Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't know, to be honest.
Well, no, that's what I mean. It's what she's on about. I can't even recall any situations. So whether she's just bringing stuff out of the air, or whether it's happened once in the past that I've said, it's fine. And again, that's how I do things. I will say it's fine, run it, and I won't just go signing them all. But if there's an issue and she thinks it should be passed or signed, then she can bring it to Steve. That scenario is not an issue, is it? If I go to Steve, no, I'm not signing it, I'm going to run it, then that's when there's an issue, because we're producing a product that the supervisor also is thinking. But we produce good work. So.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that. I'm just thinking for peace of mind on Indra's part, or any of the. But then, if she's wanting, they have got a concern, but you know that that's not going to actually.
If she wants me to sign something, but not all the time, because some of them are literally all the time bringing things up. You know what I mean? And then they're saying, you'll say it's fine, yeah, and then they'll bring it up again. I go, no, I've just told you it's fine, and then they'll come back. Oh, I said, yeah, it's fine, whatever. But if they want me to sign, and it is fine, then I'll sign it. There's no reason for me not to sign the thing.
Well, one of the main reasons why I brought that up is because she believes that that's one of your motivation behind raising your voice at that day. She believes that because she kind of gets on at you to sign things for her when she believes there's an issue, that that's your motivation behind following into the machine.
I think she's just making, that's all in her head. I don't know what she's making up in her head. But if she's thinking I shouted at her because she's once asked me to sign something or whatever. But
your refusal to sign it, so she's gone above your head.
But I don't even know if she has. I'm not even aware of a situation where she's gone above my head.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Unless she has, but I don't even know if there's a situation where she has, where something's got. And do you know, I'm the kind of person, I don't even really care if someone says sign it or something else, and then I'll go, oh, yeah, I'll sign it. But I'm still going to run it unless someone in authority says,
unless you know it's going to. Yeah. It's not passable quality.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all I need then for now, Jason. I'll let you know if
Sure.
if we need anything else. Thank you.